Are we together? Very good. As you know, the definition I said that we share common challenges. Actually, after the plantation of sugar, the plantation of tobacco, etc. And they were not made in some industries that were born there, and they were picking some raw materials from African continent, and they were taken in those countries, especially Western countries, to be traded as slaves. So they went there through Atlantic Ocean, and they were taken there forcibly, and they had no rights. Welcome, sir. Welcome, doctor. Greet my colleague, Dr. Francis. We are together in this team. He's a Pan-Africanist. And once I finish my part, I will let him also talk to you, because he has a lot to share as a Pan-Africanist, but also as a business person. Thank you. So, what they wanted in Africa, basically, they were raw materials, but also people to work in the plantation to make sure the industries grow. Simple. Okay? So, then, after the slave trade, there was also Africa, which was scrambled or shared among Europeans, and that is the colonization. The colonization followed the the slaves, and that one had a lot of implication, and all European countries, Western countries, they divided Africa into small parts so that they can divide and rule them. So first of all, having black slavery. Number two, followed by the colonization. You understand how African suffered those from especially 16th up to 19th centuries. So in 1894, you remember there was a big meeting, a big conference in Berlin, especially between 1884 up to 1885, where Western countries, most of them European, they came to Africa, and they decided to share Africa in different countries. And they divided Africa into small parts, and Africans were not sitting in that meeting. You understand how they divided Africa based on what they wanted, especially the raw material, but also manpower to work in the newborn industries. So if you look at that PowerPoint, you can see that between 1880, especially more importantly with the Berlin Conference, between 1884 and 1885, Africa was colonized. They had no powers. Up to 1913, the First War came in 1914. Then again the powers had a play in the division of African continent. And after the First World War, there were a number of Africans who have gone to those countries who managed to study in those countries, and a good number of some countries in the African continent at the time divided different countries. And Rwanda became a small country. A small country, the way it is today. And you see, if you replicate this on many African continents, or many African countries, many countries have suffered a lot based on that division of African continent. And that's why today you are even seeing many armed conflicts. Because, yes, politically, the colonialism is no longer there, but still, because of their powers, they still have a lot of influence that still prohibit Africa to develop. So even though the Pan-African movement was born in the 90s in the UK, based on those few Africans who have managed to study in Europe and the Western countries, but still, the ideas that guided those Africans to be united because of they share the common history, they share the common challenges. Because of that, even nowadays, Pan-African movement still stands and should do more to liberate Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said at the beginning, the origin of Pan-African movement is based mostly on the segregation, on the racism towards people of African descent, especially the diaspora. Based on the life they were facing, based on the decent life they were having in Europe, in America, based on the rights, minimum basic rights they were refused, they started these Pan-Africans of America. If you look at this presentation, you can see the first Pan-African Movement Congress was held in London in the 90s. 24 in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and for the first time, okay, participants from independent African countries, and they focused on Africa and the human justice, but also liberation of Southern Africa. The 7th PAM Congress, 6 in Dar es Salaam, the 7th now in Kampala. And that was in 1994, recently. They were talking about rebuilding Pan-Africans. Because if you see the distance between, or if you see that the 6th Congress was held in 74, now the 7th ones in 94, you understand that Pan-African movement, even though existing, but it was not very active. So the Kampala one, the 7th ones, was talking about rebuilding Pan-Africans. And this was based on the challenges African countries were facing. So the 8th one, the 8th Congress was held in 2016. And this one was held in Botswana, where the topic, the theme of the conference was building the PAM with setting up of national, regional, and continental structure. And this one of Botswana in 2016, actually it was held 1 year after the creation of Pan-African movement in Rwanda chapter. Because the Rwanda chapter was created in 2015. So now the one of Botswana aims to put in place the structures of PAM at the national, continental, as well as regional. And in August 2015, as I said, East African region, Pan-African movement chapter, Nairobi, Kenya, including Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Ethiopia, Burundi, South Sudan, okay, and Eritrea. These ones, Eritrea and Somalia, they didn't attend this Pan-African movement in Rwanda. They came as observers. But the 8th one, PAM Congress in May 2016 in Botswana, they participated also. So if you look at ideas behind the creation of Pan-African movement, and if you look at the history from 16th century, from the black slavery up to the time people were sold in Europe, in America, to be used not as human beings, but as tools of production. They were taken as machines, not as people with human rights, to work in their plantation, to work in the newborn industries. Even currently today, if you look at the problem Africa is facing, you understand that the ideas of having Pan-African movement, especially among the youth, among university students, is of recent and should guide our political thinking. So if you look at PAM structure, especially in Rwanda, there is the National Bureau, there is also national commissions. That's why today we even want, here at AUCA, we want also to elect members who will form the chapter of AUCA Pan-African movement. There are a number of structures that are in place, but we want to fix, at least today, we elect the committee, then later you will also elect yourself the commissioners. So, how is it, how Pan-African movement is today? Why are we bringing Pan-Africans today? Because Pan-African movement is a part and parcel, has achieved a lot after it has been reformed. And actually, for your information, His Excellency President Kagame has played a big role to revamp and to reshape the Pan-Africanism and the African Union we are having today, because he has been assigned to revamp the activities of African Union, and actually the reforms has been approved in a conference that was held in 2016 here in Kigali, Rwanda. So among those reforms, you know, and you are aware, as Africans, you are aware that one of the achievements among those reforms was also to create the African Parliament. Now we have African Parliament similar to European Parliament, we have also African Parliament. There is also Africa Free Trade Agreement, which has been recently signed, and it is currently under implementation. And African countries are joining this Africa Free Trade Agreement to trade between, which aims to trade between African countries and removing most of the barriers, most of the barriers that prohibit Africa to trade from each and another country. And in addition to these two African Parliament, African Free Trade Agreement, there is also a visa-free policy which is being crafted and which is going also to add its value on this Africa Free Trade Agreement. So now the role is to understand which role as youth, as students, people in the African continent, Africans live in different continents, even non-black Africa living on African continent. What are you supposed to do to make sure these ideas of Pan-Africans progress? Now this is the challenge. This is the challenge to you. What do you think, which role do you think you can play to make sure that these ideas of Pan-Africans still? Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Prof, we really appreciate. Please clap for him. Clap for him as you do it for every visitor, especially a special visitor like him. Thank you very much. We really appreciate. And this is very interesting. Anything anti-colonialism, anything anti-racism, anything anti-slavery, we should all stand up and act. We should all stand up and act. And today we are dealing with new colonialism. Other people use the language of coloniality, probably through education, probably through development and development cooperation. What can we do then? What can we do to deal with this? Yet, probably even your country is not yet united. Even my country, probably we hear wars and struggles here and there between different people of the same nation. How can Pan-African movement survive within all these struggles? It's you that His Excellency the President of Rwanda, President Paul Kagame, has said once in one of the youth summits that you are no more the leaders of tomorrow, but rather the leaders of today. So it's up to you now. Thank you very much. I have no much things to add. Maybe we will have some few questions after we have also welcomed another guest that we have today, who will have like 5 minutes. Dr. Francis is actually the owner of, he represents the Goodrich group, family, how do you say? Yeah, group, family, TV. You know Goodrich TV is the owner. He's also a member of Pan-African Movement Rwanda chapter. So he will have something to say, and then we'll go to the questions, few questions, and then we will have our elections. The elections will not take long. Yeah. Thank you.
The journey of having the Africa we want may be long. That's why you have Agenda 2063. Many people here will not reach there. The people who have brought this idea, this agenda, will not be there. But youth, in the next 40 years, you will be there. You are the president of today and tomorrow. You are the mayors of today and tomorrow, next place. So it's just the recommendation of the champions. And remember this every time. We see just 10. One, the first one, champions remember that success is a decision, not a gift. Success is a decision, not what? Not what? The second one. Champions document and communicate their goals. If you have a goals, if you have dreams, please communicate and document it down there. Next please. Champions make success. Everyone say success. Success. They make success. They don't succeed but make success. They help others to succeed. How many people have succeeded because of you? How many people are you coaching? Next question. The first one, champions have a plan. Next. Champions tackle the weakness and the strengths. Next. Champions lean on others because together we can achieve more, but alone we can't do anything. Next. Champions accept change. Next, please. Champions prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Next. Champions never give up. Everyone say, never give up. Never give up. The last one, champions celebrate the victories. If you have the victory, you have won an exam, you have achieved some age, you have got a fiancé, please celebrate. Through the big party, after party, you have to celebrate. Without celebrating, you will not achieve another goal. Next, please. So if you want something you have never had, you must be ready and willing to do something you have never done. Next, please. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Francis.
My question is based on an example. Morning, I listened on the radio about problem that he has taken in Tunisia. The youth in Tunisia, they started housing the black Africans that migrate into that country. The harassment of that black Africans happened due to the speech of the president Kaiser that talked to the citizens. So my question is, there are some head of states in Africa that I think that have not critical will. So what is your, as a Pan-Africanist, what is your participation to make some, not all, but some head of states to have political will about Pan-Africanists? My second question is, many African youth, they migrate into Europe, Canada, America, and other countries that are abroad. They go there to acquire knowledge. Yes, it's better to acquire knowledge, but half of them, they come back to African countries. But another half of them, they stay there because there are many opportunities. So also I reflected to you, what as Pan-Africanists you do about encourage those students that are acquired knowledge from that country to come back and use that knowledge that acquired from that country in in their countries. What are you thinking about that problem? Thank you.
Thank you, student who has asked those two bright questions, by the way. In the meeting, actually the context of this public lecture. The first question was about what is happening currently in Tunisia. You may not be aware, but he informed us, and those are news, current news. It is like what was happening even in the recent past in South Africa. In some of those countries, they don't want their brothers and sisters from other countries. But most specifically, in Tunisia, you know Tunisia is an Arab country. You know, they have also those problems of harassing some black brothers and sisters from African continent. What Pan-African movement is doing, what African Union is doing, actually if you have followed, they have condemned what is happening in Tunisia, especially the African Union. So its chairperson, its speaker, they have condemned what is happening in Tunisia. They ask the youth, that is the mandate you have been given. Fighting doesn't mean taking a gun or fighting ideas. And always, if you fight with ideas, especially nowadays, with the advancement of technology, you can reach very far. So let's fight those ideas which are really not taking into account the ideas of Pan-Africanism. Because the aim, as we said, of Pan-Africanism is to unify all Africa. Whatever color you have, wherever you come from, whether you come from African continent or living abroad elsewhere, or residing as a non-black African in the African continent, you should feel, should take your brother and sister as your colleague, and somebody who deserves to live wherever he wants. But of course, you cannot be sure that 100% everybody will have the same ideas. We fight strongly those behaviors. Thank you. For the second question, whereby some African government of those countries, why not knowledge, the know-how you have acquired, you cannot use it to contribute to your own country development. So, if you take a case of Rwanda, you have heard about Rwanda Days that are organized on different continents. Even of recent, during the national dialogue, Mushikiano, His Excellency has even promised to even organize the Rwanda Day on African continent. It is not only in Europe. So those who are knowledgeable are normally encouraged to contribute to the development of their respective countries. But of course, there are still some challenges. And that is why Pan-Africanism is teaching you, Pan-Africanism is playing its role to encourage people to come back and use those knowledge. So Rwanda is also a good example that encourages the diaspora, okay, to go there, study, gain wealth, but use the wealth, bring it back to the country to contribute to development. Number of cases, are available of many companies that have been founded by diaspora. So if these ideas can be replicated to other countries, probably those people will gain money using those good opportunities available in those respective countries, and they bring the wealth, the knowledge, the know-how to contribute to the development of the respective countries. Thank you very much.
Back in Africa, because what they are looking there is just job opportunity. But remember there, the factory there, they took all raw material from Africa because there is new colonialism. They are still colonizing some countries. What if all raw material are here in Africa, not in clothes? The tea for Rwanda is in Rwanda. The coffee for Africa, it is in Africa. The cacao, it is in Africa. The minerals for Congo can't close and go up, it's just in Africa. It's Congo, Rwanda, Tanzania, South Africa, and where? Means the people who are abroad, who are there, they will lose job because the factory will close. There's no raw materials. Or the factory will be here in Africa. That is the purpose. That is why Pan-Africanism. To have all our sources. There is a program we have which is learning on the TVs and whatever. So one topic is saying Africa in Momo Koyumo. Abantu bose bakomotse muri Africa. Even the people who are in the US, even in Europe, Africa niyo Momo Koyumo wabaye wabera kwisi. Number 2, Africa isoko y'ubukungu bw'isi. All raw materials, ibintu byose by'agaciro from Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please clap again for very much. Nihangane kugihe Nigerians. We don't only learn one thing. Let us be informed. Actually, Europeans, Western people, when they think about Africa, they think it's just one place. One place. So you Africans, especially when it's a bad thing that is being done, you Africans, you behave this way. Why? Let's capitalize on being one, being perceived as one person, and use one place, and then grow from there. Right? We just raise the hands. We need candidates. And Dr. Francis will also help us with this. Please, before we go,
Vice Chair and the Secretary. So then the commissions, you will vote and we elect them later. So we need 3 candidates per each. 3 candidates for chairman, 3 candidates vice chair, and 3 candidates on the secretary. So Huriya mukobwa tubwire yamanitse akaboko wambaye triko y'umukara atuwe umukandida Dr. ya watubwira ni ufite umukandida